Howdy race fans, welcome to my little show about racing. I like to call In the Pits with me, StockCar Scott, here each Wednesday on YouTube during the racing season when I feel like it. And I tell you, I almost didn't feel like it today, race fans, because as you can tell from the opening credits, I'm having a technical difficulty. So anybody that wants to come help me, please. But things are going to be a little rough around here for the next couple of weeks until I'll be able to get that fixed or get a new program loaded. So anyway, first off, second now, off this week is let me get my plug for the West Coast Late Model Series. I checked their website at westcoastlatemodels.org. And they still have 6 seasons passes at $100 each, for which you get into 9 points races at 3 different Northwest tracks, plus Fall Classic weekend at season's end. It is a great deal for the price, folks. Talking about another great deal, my wife and I last week became Buck Jr. backers for the upcoming West Coast Late Model Series season. So when you go to a race, you will see In the Pits with StockCar Scott on the lid of, on the deck lid that is, of Buck Knoll Jr.'s championship number 95 late model race car. I'm really stoked to, cause we're going to get team shirts and y'all will get to see them next month. Friday was practice. This past Friday was practice and qualifying for NASCAR Sprint Cup and practice for the Xfinity Series at Las Vegas Speedway there, where I saw on Facebook that the Peg Boys Racing was down there for the race weekend, and I think I also saw Kathy McDougal was down there for at least the race. But a glaring omission once again this week was a 40th Sprint Cup entry. Yes, only 39 cars were presented to race at the Las Vegas Cup event. The Xfinity race had 42 cars show up for the 40 starting places for Saturday's event. So I wonder what's going on there. In Cup qualifying, though, on Friday, Kurt Busch was fastest again for another week, for the second week, in his Monster Energy Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet. On Saturday, the Xfinity qualifying results were the same as last week, with the Toad on the pole and Phenom Eric Jones on the outside of the front row. But I couldn't watch it because it was on that Phantom Fox Sports 2 channel that's somewhere. When the Xfinity 300-miler got going later in the day, the Toad led early with his teammates Jones and Daniel Suarez in tow. During the first round of green flag pit stops, Phenom Eric Jones sped on pit road in the number 20 Interstate Batteries Camry, and after a pass-through where he sped again, and then he got a stop-and-go penalty, he finally got right with the NASCAR officials at 2 laps down, while his teammate, the Toad, began to really stink up another Xfinity race. With about 2/3 of the 300-mile race complete, oh, that would be 200 miles, wouldn't it? Anyway, a big crash in the backstretch took out my favorite Alabama Xfinity driver, Darrell Bubba Wallace Jr., in the number 6 Roush Ford Performance Mustang, the only other car that led a lap on Saturday during the Xfinity race. Also, with that caution and the red flag for the cleanup, Phenom Eric Jones was able to lucky dog the number 20 Camry back on the lead lap with a baker's dozen of other cars. And in honor of the lucky dog, we got a new member on the set there, old Lucky Dog. So the laps ran out of the Xfinity race with Toad winning race number 78 in that series, and his teammates there Suarez and Jones, who was able to get back up there, finished second and third. The rest of the top 10 was filled out by Junior Motorsports and Richard Childress Racing Camaros, with Chase Elliott in the number 88 Tax Slayer Camaro being the best of the non-Joe Gibbs Racing entries. Suarez in the number 19 JGR Aris Camry leads the Xfinity points with the next race at Phoenix this coming Saturday. And, you know, I think the commercial said that it was going to be Fox instead of Fox Sports 1, so hopefully that's the case. Sunday was nice, as will be the rest of the Western Swing, because the race didn't start until well afternoon, and, you know, I'm not a morning person, so it was nice not having to get up too early. But, boy, howdy, was it windy. Oh, man. Kathy, tell me about it. Was it windy? Anyway, Kurt Busch started on the pole in the number 41 Monster Energy drink, Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet. But during the competition caution at lap 30, he sped coming into pit lane and got put to the back. Kurt wasn't the only pit road speeding violator of the race. A lot of different drivers got tagged, along with the eventual winner, number 2, Bad Brad Keselowski, in the Penske Miller Lite Ford. The low downforce package and the high winds at Las Vegas was lots of fun, and it led to comers and goers at the front. The last caution of the race was the big wreck that took out my oldest brother's favorite, number 24 Chase Elliott, in that Napa Hendrick Chevrolet. On restart in the last segment, the Toad made a great move to take the lead, and it looked like, for a while, like a hometown sweep for the Toad. But Bad Brad Keselowski just was not hearing of it. He passed his teammate, Joker Logano. That took him a little while, but then he caught right up to the Toad, who was having an ill-handling car there, and ruined his homecoming. You know, NASCAR has to be pleased, on the other hand, with each of the 3 different manufacturers winning each of the first 3 races. My younger brother's favorite, Kevin Happy Harvick, was in the Jimmy John's Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet, who raced with the flu. Didn't feel too good. He finished best, relatively speaking, at 7th, with my favorite, Dale Jr., in 8th, and Greg Biffle, my wife's favorite, finishing 20th in the Cheez-It Ford Fusion. The other local favorite, Casey Kane, was 10th, and the pole sitter, Kurt Busch, came back from his speeding penalty to finish 9th in the Stewart-Haas Racing Chevrolet. The next race on the Western Swing is at Phoenix this Sunday. I've been there. It's a really nice place to go to race. And, of course, the last winner of a cup race there was Junior. He got him a rain-shortened race win there. And it's nice. Won't have to get up early for that one either. And, oh, yeah, Toad leads the points right now. Dale Jr. is up to about 12th in points. And, of course, the 3 race winners, Keselowski, Johnson, and Hamlin, are in the chase with their wins. Wet my whistle. Anyway, so that's about all on racing this week. I mean, I could cry some more about technical difficulties, but you'll figure them out as you watch this. Just a couple more weeks of weekends of racing only on TV or some far-off place. Then Easter weekend with no racing. And then local racing for us in Washington State the following weekend. Yeah, the first weekend in April. We wait only because we have no alternative, as we can't accelerate time no matter how much we press down with a right foot. Oh, another bit of West Coast late model Series news as I come to a close. They have caps, t-shirts, and hoodies available now through their co-sponsor there of Atomic Printing, Screen Printing. And has you get a hat with the logo, or a t-shirt, or a hoodie with the logo. So you know what I'll be sporting after Apple Cup, April 8th and 9th. I'll be getting me a whole bunch of new clothes. So anyway, remember, tomorrow, Throwback Thursday, I'll be posting on YouTube channel another 12-year-old episode of the uncensored public access sports program, the Waterboy Sports Show, where I got my start talking about racing. This one's a little bit older than 12 years old because the one that should have gone this week got lost. So anyway, but the one I'm showing to you is a little bit older, and it is actually my debut on the Waterboys and how I got started talking about racing here in Seattle so many years ago. It seems like it anyway. So please give it a view if you get a chance. Just remember that guidance is suggested because we didn't have any, folks. And then return here on Wednesdays and watch as I continue to talk about racing in another episode of my little show, In the Pits, with StockCar Scott and sometimes Daphne, that I will continue to post each week if I feel like it. Have another day like today, we'll just have to see. But I thank you very much for watching, race fans. And on a personal note, I would like to express my condolences to the race director of the West Coast Late Model Series, my friend Mike Easley, and his family on the recent loss of his father. You know, I never met Colonel John R. Easley, but I can tell he was a good man by the fine son that he raised. Well, okay, I'll talk to you next time. Hey, get in touch with me if you ever want to come help on the show. I'd love to have some help. But thanks again for watching, and see you again next StockCar time, next StockCar channel on the YouTube on Wednesdays. Thank you very much, folks. Thanks again for watching.